Learn how to master Lindy Hop with the simplest approach on earth. Check out my resources in the description. Woo! Greetings and salutations, Jamin here. Make sure you subscribe below so you don't miss any videos I produce. Now look, this time I'm going to be going back to the ILHC 2021 event, and I'm going to be scrutinizing an advanced solo jazz final competition. Now, a lot of people think the advanced level is just something you kind of overlook. It's like, well, you know, they're not beginners and but they're just not quite invitational level. And I beg to differ. Many of the times I find really talented, unique individuals, even at the advanced level. And so generally when I'm judging these competitions, I like to look at individual uniqueness more than anything when it comes to the solo jazz competition. The next thing obviously would be, can you do the technique? And of course, most people in a competition can do all the solo jazz moves. That's easy. So I really want to see the uniqueness behind these dancers, and can they actually do it with respect for the old moves that have come before. So let's get right into this, and I'm going to give you guys my big fat bloated opinion on who I think is the winner of this competition. Let's do it. All right. This right here gonna be fire. Let's hope. Serpil. Turkey in the house. All right. Not afraid to move slow. See, this is what I like so far. This dancer is chilling, not rushed. The tempo's fast, but she introduced a tremendous amount of personality already, and I love this dancer. Okay, there are those classic moves I'm talking about. Classic moves. Very tight, lots of personality. I'm really liking the arrangement of her movement. I think that she didn't just come out blasting where I'm like, hey, well, just give me a break. Let me ease into this. And she did that. She just eased right into it. So let's see. Paula from Greece. I'm really enjoying her intro. All I could do was see the piano being played by her footwork. That was perfect. What I like about this one, it's not as intense per se in terms of how much movement she's doing. I think she has a real sense of who she is as a dancer and her personality. She's not trying to do something that she's not used to doing. That's what I like. It was really authentic. So, Diego from France. I don't know what it is. Certain dancers, I feel like they are coming from a different art form into swing dancing, and I could easily see him being a b-boy. Excuse me. And I just think that is because of the hand movements. There's a little bit more comfort with the basic jazz movements, but in terms of like individual uniqueness, it's really hard for this dancer to stand out. I really see like he's doing the part he's really good at, but I feel like that part is the part that everybody seems to be doing well. That's just like the basic technical aspects of the dance. I didn't see enough of his uniqueness, enough personality. Sophia. So what I like about her, I love the joy behind her movement. And what I also noticed too is the kind of movement she's doing looks almost better in concert. It looks like it would be better in a team group of solo dancers, because I don't see enough uniqueness, enough individualism with her. I feel like I see 3 other dancers doing the exact same movements with her in my peripheral vision, but they're not there. But that's the kind of vibe I'm feeling from her. She obviously has the technical move. She's killing it. She's crushing it. But I still feel it's a bit hollow when it comes to personality distinction that makes me say, yes, that's the one. I might say, yes, she's part of the 3, but the other 2 I can't really see. So I feel nothing wrong with it per se, but I feel like the type of choreography it felt like it was more of a group choreographed solo piece, more so than an individual solo piece. So it's really tough. So Megan from the United States. I like the variation of her footwork with the movement, with the music, kind of mirroring that. I do feel like there were other dancers who had the vintage moves more complete in terms of how they're executing them. I think there's some basic things with this dancer's body posture that make me feel like she's a modern dancer who learned how to do some swing dance moves, but still has a lot of that essence from like a house dancer or hip hop dancer feel. Nothing wrong with that, but stylistically it's really, really tough to mesh them in a way where solo jazz is elevated and not diminished in that process. So Egle, here we go, from Lithuania. Nothing wrong with the move so far. Again, another great example of a technician who understands how the moves work. They know how to execute the moves. But again, the trouble I see is being able to show distinction and uniqueness doing those moves, so that I don't just kind of like zone out as a judge. I just kind of feel some of the moves become redundant when I don't see that uniqueness. Okay, let's see. Zini. I may not be saying that correctly. From Turkey. Okay, I see distinction already. And my hopes as a viewer is, can he do the technical part? And here we go. And yes, he can. So what I like about this dancer is the distinction. I will remember him. And it isn't so much about the technical moves that he's doing. I don't think it got better as it went along. I think it kind of dropped off in quality in terms of technique. But that initial balance that I'm looking for was there. So Sylvia. Let's see. I didn't catch where she's from. Again, this is a great example of good personality, but it looks like the choreography is designed for a group of swing dancers who are doing solo jazz together. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to balance that out. So let's see what happens next. Juan from Argentina. I like the joy in this dancer's body. I like he's got a lot of the technical moves. The part that he has to be careful with is too much movement with the upper body. It doesn't allow me to appreciate the real emphasis of the moves that I know are basic jazz moves. And sometimes you can have good intentions with a lot of movement in your body, but sometimes being more quiet in certain areas can actually amplify some of the other moves that you're doing. And so when I look at this, again, I see someone who's got a lot of great ideas, but basic body positioning with his upper body is distracting from those basic moves that we know, like stomp offs and kickball changes and half breaks. A lot of those things get overrun by a lot of excessive movement. Okay. Okay, so far, I really love this dancer's organization of her choreography with her lower body. Again, I think she's suffering from the same symptoms that the last dancer was, which is excessive movement in areas of her body that really aren't the emphasis. And if they are the emphasis, in many cases, dancers don't realize that it takes away some of the clarity of their movement when there's too many movements happening at the same time. So I wasn't sure if I needed to look at her upper body or her lower body. Sometimes it gets kind of blurry. So Melina, here we go. Yeah, same thing with this dancer. Great individual expression, but a little bit too much movement in the upper body to be identified as a solo jazz dancer. When we say solo jazz, we're not saying all-encompassing movement from the last 90 years. We're really talking about the vintage styles, which require a little bit more upper body self-control. And it's really hard to do. That's the hardest part to do on the technical standpoint for a modern dancer, is to quiet the upper body in the right areas and at the right time to really highlight the essence of the old moves. Okay, here we got another one. Brandon from the United States. All right, this is another example. Man, I don't know what it is today, guys. It seems like at this level, in this particular competition, many of the advanced dancers are having trouble with the essence of the technical moves. Usually it's the other way around, where the technical moves are the thing that they understand, and uniqueness is what's missing. But I don't see a problem with uniqueness in this particular competition so far, at least with 4 of the competitors. They were extremely unique, but I think something more elemental was missing. The more basic jazz moves are not as tight as they need to be at an advanced level. And, you know, for many of you novices out there who are looking at this going, what is he talking about? Just think about the upper body. The upper body in a lot of the vintage dance moves tend to be more quiet than the lower body. And that's because of a tap influence. Let's talk about this. I gotta say, guys, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I feel just a tad bit perturbed at what I just watched. And the reason is because a lot of the problems that I saw with these dancers is not related to their uniqueness and their ingenuity per se. I think most of these dancers had moments where they had some really good ideas, but I think ultimately the problem with this competition, with these particular dancers that were selected to compete in the finals, they had more fundamentally basic problems with the technique. I think a lot of the problems associated with their technical moves should have been more related to an open competition where those dancers have trouble identifying how do you do some basic Charleston movements that actually look vintage. How do you do a lot of the basic solo jazz and authentic jazz moves without it looking too much like hip hop? How do you do that? And I feel like that's the question for many dancers in the open level, not the advanced level. I felt like many of these dancers had so many good ideas that were just suppressed, and I was distracted as a judge because the fundamental things that were supposed to be there that allows them to build something beautiful on top of it were omitted, or they were just sloppy. So I'm kind of hurt on that because I think we should know better at this level how to do some basic moves. And many of these dancers I felt should have been in an open level, not an advanced level. So with that said, even for those who got out here and competed, I still applaud you for that. It takes guts to get out there and be criticized. because I'm one of the only people on the planet who will do that publicly. I love doing that. Not to be mean, but I love this art form and I want to see people really love it as much as I do, like for the right reasons. And they're willing to work at it and to continue to add value to the art form, not take anything away from it or change it into something that it isn't. I'm passionate about it. And so my critique is from a good place. It's not out of a place of envy or jealousy or just strife or sowing seeds of discord. I really, really want to see people get better at this art. So I gotta say, my favorite dancer was, quite frankly, there were two, and these are the only two I want to talk about. So my second place favorite goes to Paula from Greece. I think Paula had a healthy balance of being able to show me her distinct, unique movements and personality, but she was just on the border of breaking that essence of what makes it solo jazz, but she didn't quite do that. I could still look at her hips down and identify many of those vintage classic moves, especially when she went into doing the Charleston and falling off the log, and a lot of those movements were identifiable. And so I say I really liked her because she didn't violate those basic fundamental things as much as everybody else did. So I liked her personality on this. I felt she was genuine. I didn't feel like she was trying to shoebox herself into something that she's not in terms of personality, just to perform. And that's what I really appreciated about her. I really felt out of all the dancers, there was an authentic nature to her movement. Now, with that being said, the dancer that I thought was first place for me and overall for the competition is the dancer who did it the least amount. She did not violate that foundation of building on the classic moves with your distinct, unique personality and never switching it around, but she would always have it about 60-40. I would say she pushed it. She pushed it to maybe like 70-30. But in doing so, I have a respect for the art form more when I watch her do it, and I see her uniqueness more, and I respect her uniqueness more because the balance is there. And I would say this dancer is Serpil. I'm not sure if I'm even saying that correctly, so please forgive me. Please forgive me. As you can see, when she comes out here, she's not rushed. That's what I loved, is initially she just comes right out and she says, nope, not yet. I'm going to build. I'm going to do some basic moves. She's moving her upper body, and I'm thinking, okay, these are some modern moves, but then, she's breaking into some Charleston, and then all of a sudden, the beat kicks in, and she starts doing the vintage moves in a way that it brings value to those moves. I don't see her up rocking like a B-boy or a B-girl, and I appreciate that because I still see a modern essence with a vintage foundation mixed together perfectly. And I think this dancer really wrapped that together in a way that's respectable. So I gotta give props where props are due. She crushed it, and she had my attention the entire performance. That's really hard. That's really hard to do. So big hat off to her in this competition because I loved every moment of what she had to offer. But I would really encourage a lot of you modern dancers to watch some of the old clips. Find a dancer from the past that you really like and build off of their foundation. If they're short and you're tall, you might want to kind of augment some of those moves. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But the idea is we never want to lose an attachment to those foundational dancers in the past. Now, I'm not saying everything that came from the past is just valid. But what I am saying is everything that we do is not just valid because it's what we want to do. I think we are codependent on this beautiful legacy of swing dancing, and the future generations are going to depend on us to do that. So pick a dancer from the past, watch some of their old clips, get some inspiration. In hip hop, we would call it biting, biting other people's moves. We need some healthy biting because I don't want to see people take the art in a direction that's no longer identifiable to what it really is in its essence. So, I watch a lot of old clips. I watch dancers who are unique, and I try to let their uniqueness and free expression just rub off on me. And it's something that you really can't fake. When you just try to watch a dancer and imitate their happy expressions, sometimes it looks fake. It doesn't come across as genuine. A lot of that can be fixed if you grow into loving the music just as much as modern music. Like really falling in love with swing music will allow you to naturally become that authentic version of yourself. You know, we can look at them and say, man, they're just so authentic and raw. But we can also do that exact same thing if we are honest with ourselves and we have a real connection with the music. So I would encourage you to do that. I encourage you guys to start finding those people that will inspire you to, number one, respect the old moves, learn the old moves, and really grasp a hold of the music that birthed these old moves. So keep that in mind, guys. Let me know who you thought was a winner of this competition in the comments section below. If you haven't started doing solo jazz, you're terrified because you don't know what to do with your arms because you're not working with another partner. Everybody starts from the beginning. We all have areas where we're weak at and we're constantly wanting to get better. So watch YouTube videos, learn from other people, but you always want to compare it to the essence of what makes this dance what it is. There's not enough instructors out here who actually talk about what the dance is in its most basic raw form. So if you're interested in that type of logic and thinking, I would encourage you to check out some of my links in the description. I spend a lot of time with my students helping them demystify and deconstruct all of the things in Lindy Hop that can seem sometimes unnecessarily difficult. And it makes it difficult for you as an individual to tap into the essence of what it is so you can start adding your unique contribution to this amazing legacy. So if you like fundamental thinking where you can strip away complexity and say, that's why it looks solo jazz, or that's why it's a swing out. It looks different, but that's how you can define it. I encourage you, check out some of my links below. They will really inspire you and help you grow to the level that you need to be. So again, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this in the comment section below. Big shout out to the two dancers that I saw that I appreciate it so much. And I hope they continue to shine and add more to this amazing Lindy Hop legacy. With that being said, if I don't see your comments below, hopefully I get a chance to see some of you in my class online. Take care.